student, I'm Madam Joyce from Educare TZ. I'm teaching biology, and today, my student, I will be with you to discuss our very interesting topic, which is coordination and irritability. And here we are going to focus to look on our subtopic, which is nervous coordination in mammals. So we are going to discuss the nervous coordination that is occurring within the mammals. So my students, we can recall on where we end on the last session. We end by looking on the type C of the neuroglia. We have said that we have almost 6 types of neuroglia. 4 of which are found within the central nervous system, and about 2 of which are found within the peripheral nervous system. And we have already covered about the first type of neuroglia, which is found within the central nervous system, and that is microglia. Tumesema kwamba ile microglia yenyewe inafanya kazi ya kufight any kind of infection or any kind of bacteria that can enter through the central nervous system. This microphage will act upon it, that will kill it and destroy it, so that it can make transmission of the impulse can go smoothly. So my students, in our today's session also we are going to proceed to look on the types of the neuroglia, and mainly here we are going to discuss on the type that is astrocytes. We are going to discuss on the astrocytes. So we have to know what is this astrocytes and what is the function of it in transmission of the nerve impulse, since the neuroglia, it is responsible for supporting supporting the neurons for transmission of the impulse. So now we are saying that these astrocytes, these are the star-shaped microglia cells which with many processes. So hii inakuwa na ile shape ya star shape, these astrocytes. And also this with the many processes, inakuwa na kazi nyingi sana ndani ya transmission of the ndani ya neurons. So we're going to see the structure of these astrocytes on the figure 4.1b. But you have to know that these astrocytes, they are most abundant glia cells in the central nervous system. They are abundant, meaning that they are many, they are found in large concentration within the central nervous system. Yani zinapatikana kwa wingi sana ukienda kwenye hizi central nervous system, either kwenye brain au kwenye spinal cord, zinapatikana kwa wingi sana. Sasa tujiulize wenyewe, hizi astrocytes kwa nini zinapatikana kwa wingi sana ndani ya central nervous system, meaning that it perform which kind of function? So we have to know. Before that, let's see this figure that shows the structure of the astrocytes which are found within the central nervous system. So now you can see this one is the star-shaped structure which is found within the central nervous system. Remember, these astrocytes, they have got many processes that are found within the central nervous system. So we have to know what is the role or what is the function of this astrocyte. So the role of the astrocytes. So the role here, we are saying that their role are to provide metabolic and structural support to the neuron. So it provides metabolic together with the structural support with the within the neuron. Kwa hii tunayoita astrocyte, that is star-shaped neuroglia or star-shaped glia. Hii inafanya kazi ya kuprovide metabolic and structural support. Ina provide structural support to the neuron so that any kind of impulse can pass it through very smoothly to enter into the central nervous system. Tukisema pia metabolic activities, hapa tunasema kwamba sasa removing any kind of W's that enter through the central that enter into the enter to the neurons. This astrocyte will act upon it. So, and apart from that, these metabolic activities, it can either be excretory or inaweza ikawa respiratory and so on. So this neuroglia, mainly it is called the astrocyte, will act upon it. And that is the astrocyte, which is found within the central nervous system. And apart from that, my student, we have got another type of the glia cell or neuroglia cell, which is called the oligodendrocytes. It is called the oligodendrocytes. So we have to know also what is this and what is the function of it. So here, these oligodendrocytes, we are saying that these are the cells with very few processes. Hizi ni seli ambazo zinakuwa na processes chache sana. We're going to see later on the figure 4.1c. They are found in the central nervous system. The thing that you have to know, that these cells are found within the central nervous system, and they are few in the process, meaning that these oligodendrocytes, they are cells which with a very few processes, nakuwa na kazi chache ndani ya central nervous system. Also, you can be asked to differentiate between the oligodendrocyte or oligodendrocyte together with the astrocyte. So now you can see this one, they have very few processes, but when we are talking about the astrocyte, they have many processes that are taking place within the neuron. So this one is the structure of the oligodendrocytes, as you can see here. This one is the structure of the oligodendrocytes, D. This one is the C. So now we are saying that let's see the role of these C oligodendrocytes. So the role of these C oligodendrocytes, we are saying that they form myelin sheaths of the axon of a neuron, which have lipid-based insulation for increasing the speed at which the action potential can travel down the axon. Tunasema kwamba hii ambayo inaitwa oligodendrocyte ndiyo ambayo ni seli ambayo iko responsible kwa ajili ya kutengeneza myelin sheath. Remember, myelin sheath ndiyo ambayo ina cover ile axoni yote. When you're going furthermore to discuss the neurons, you're going to see the axon. What is axon? And what is this now, what you call the myelin sheath, you're going to see. But here you have to know, or you have to keep it into your mind that myelin sheath is the structure which is used to cover in the axon of the neuron. So by covering the axon of the neuron, ndiyo ambayo inateleza to speed up the rate of transmission of the impulse from one region to another region very fast and very easily. So hapa tumesema kwamba the role of this myelin sheath increase the speed at which the action potential can be traveled down the axon. So zile impulses zinakuwa zinapita kwenye axon very fast. As an electrical, tunasema is due to the possession of this structure which is called the myelin sheath, which is produced by oligodendrocytes. And apart from that, my student, we have got another part which is epidermal cells, which is called the epidermal cells. Remember that oligocyte is found within the central nervous system. But what is this now, oligodendrocytes? So now we are saying that these epidermal cells, these are ciliated cells which line up the central cavity of the brain and the spinal cord. So hapa tunasema kwamba hii structure ambayo inaitwa hii cell ambayo inaitwa epidermal cells ambayo inapatikana ndani ya neuroglia, hii yenyewe iko responsible kwa ajili ya coverage of the brain together with the spinal cord. So the role of this structure here, we are saying that the role of the epidermal cells, they form a fairly permeable barrier between the cerebrospinal fluid that fills this cavity. So hii ina form a cavity, au tuseme kwamba ndio ambayo inatenganisha between the cerebrospinal fluid, au ina form a permeable barrier, yani inakuwa ni kama kizuizi inayozuia ile spinal cerebral fluid ambayo inapatikana within the ile spinal cord au within the central nervous system. So it acts as a barrier. So that is the functioning of these epidermal cells. And we're going to see this figure on the we're going to see the structure on the figure 4.1d. So my student, and this one the structure of this part, that is the epidermal cells. As you can see in the diagram, it is show itself. So hii ndio structure ambayo ina form a barrier. Ina form a barrier to separate zile cerebrospinal fluid. You know that cerebrospinal fluid, when we are moving further, we're going to discuss what is this cerebrospinal fluid and the function of it within the coordination. Inakuwa inafanya kazi gani? So here you have to know the diagram of this cerebrospinal fluid. So my student, so that is the type of the neuroglia that is found within the central nervous system. So hatujaangalia ile type ambayo zinapatikana kwenye peripheral nervous system. So in the next part of this session is where now we are going to finalize to look on those type of the neurons that are found within the peripheral nervous system. So my student, thank you for your attentively listening.